We are all born with a natal chart that indicates our core personality, but as we age, we change. These changes can be tracked through observing our progressed charts. Let me tell you more about progressions. A progressed chart is when you take a person's natal chart and then you add a day onto it for each year that that person has been alive. So imagine you have a clock. A clock has 12 hours, just like a birth chart has 12 houses. As the minutes go by, the long pointer on the clock will tick around the clock, and as the hours go by, the shorter pointer on the clock will tick through the clock. In essence, one can say that the movement of the planets in our progressed chart can be compared to how the pointers in a clock tick through the clock as time goes along. Similarly, our planets also move around our birth chart as time goes on and as we age. We can all track our growth cycles and we can all track how we change. When a particular planet in a progressed chart changes signs or it changes houses, or it comes into aspect with another planet, it represents how our needs are changing in relation to that particular planet, and the way that that planet is affecting our life is changing. I do believe that in order to get a complete picture of a person's astrology imprint, it is incredibly important to look at both their natal chart as well as their progressed chart. The natal chart will show you a lot about the core personality of that individual, yes. However, a progressed chart will show you where that person is at a specific point in their life. Only reading a person's natal chart is almost like only reading a person's early childhood story. Yes, you can tell a lot about that person through learning about their early childhood, but at the end of the day, it doesn't give you a complete picture of who the person actually is. In order to get a complete picture of the native, it is important to read both the natal as well as a progressed chart. Now, a progressed chart is not more important than a natal chart, don't get me wrong. Our birth placements are very, very important. However, change is the only constant in life, and at the end of the day, we're not going to remain exactly the same as what our natal chart indicates us to be. There is a lot more to this. I've had a lot of people actually ask me, how is it that we have a natal chart but we change and we grow and we evolve as we get older? The answer is yes. The natal chart does not necessarily indicate these changes that we undergo as we age, but the progressed chart does. In a progressed chart, our moon usually changes signs every 2 to 3 years. This is because the moon cycles through the zodiac through a 28-day cycle. Within a 28-year period of your life, you would have likely experienced energies and experiences related to each of the different moon signs. This means that your progressed moon would have been in each of the 12 zodiac signs at a specific point in your life. This is also why very often people can relate to a different moon sign when they are maybe reading about it or watching a video about it. It could possibly be that that moon sign they're relating so deeply to is their progressed moon. Our emotional space is the one thing that is changing more frequently than any other aspects of our lives. Maybe the one year you're having a really good year when it comes to your emotions, maybe the next year you're not. This can all be pointed out through observing your progressed moon. The 3 most important things that you should keep an eye on when you are observing your progressed chart is the movements of the sun, the moon, as well as your ascendant. The sun moves 1 degree away from your natal position each year that you are alive. At some point, your sun might possibly move into the next sign. This means that, let's say, for example, you're born in Libra. At some point in your life, you will progress into the sign of Scorpio. This means that at some point in your life, you are going to embody the energy of Scorpio just as much as you embody the energies of Libra in relation to your sun placements. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are also quite important. However, they are slightly slower moving planets in comparison to the sun and the moon, so they do not change that often in a progressed chart. The signs of an outer planet rarely changes in a progressed chart because it takes incredibly long for an outer planet to actually change signs. However, there is a very small percentage of people in this world who do have their outer planets within the last few degrees of a sign. Those who have their outer planets within, say, the 27th, 28th, and 29th degree of the sign could possibly experience an outer planet changing signs within their lifetime. This is incredibly rare, however, some people do experience this, and if you do experience this, it's important to look into the impacts of this in your life. Most of us go through about 2 to 3 different sun signs within our lifetime in our progressed charts. The sun also moves between 2 to 3 different houses within our progressed chart based on how our ascendant shifts. Some people who get really old might experience 4 signs in their lifetime. However, this is also quite rare. So I'm going to show you Madonna's chart just to show you guys how a chart progresses and how a natal chart changes. So as you can see, Madonna was born with her sun in Leo. She had a Virgo rising, a Virgo moon, and interestingly enough, her Jupiter is within the last degrees of Libra, which means that possibly her Jupiter will change signs within her lifetime. Here is Madonna's progressed chart from the 1980s. As you can see, her sun has progressed from Leo into Virgo. And in 1980, Madonna actually also embodied a lot of Virgo energy at her core expression. In 1980, she still had a Virgo rising. However, her moon had progressed into the sign of Gemini. Her Jupiter was on the 29th degree of Libra, which means that within the next few years, her Jupiter was likely going to change signs. Here is Madonna's progressed chart for the year 2000, and here you can see that her sun had progressed into Libra. This means that she had progressed all the way from being a Leo sun to being a Virgo sun to now becoming a Libra sun. So she had gone through 3 different sun signs. Her Jupiter has now also progressed into Scorpio, and her rising sign is now Libra, and it is no longer Virgo. When a rising sign changes within a natal chart, it is incredibly important, because that means that the actual house locations of the planets will shift as well. When the rising sign changes, in essence, the entire chart layout changes. In my opinion, a changing rising sign is the most important thing to look out for in a progressed chart, because this will indicate when you will undergo some of the most biggest changes within your life and your core personality. Here is Madonna's chart for 2021. As you can see, she is still a Libra sun. She is still a Libra rising. However, she is within the 28th degree of Libra rising, which means that she might possibly soon progress into a Scorpio rising within the next few years. And her moon is currently in Capricorn. By the year 2025, Madonna would have progressed into a Scorpio rising, meaning that she went from being a Virgo rising to being a Libra rising to being a Scorpio rising within her lifetime. So she embodied the rising sign and energy of 3 separate rising signs within her lifetime. Your progressions, in essence, symbolize how your identity evolves. Your progressions do not necessarily replace the identity of your natal placements, but it is in essence just an additional layer as to who you are and what you embody. This additional energy that you embody will remain with you for a specified time. So for example, I am born with my sun in Virgo. However, I have progressed into Libra. This means that at this point in my life, I embody a lot of energy in relation to learning to have harmonious interactions with other people. When our progressed sun changes signs, it will usually be in that specific sign for 30 years. So this means that for a 30-year period, we will embody this specific energy. However, our moon sign is a lot more interesting to look at in terms of progressions, because our moon sign changes much more frequently. What our emotional needs are, our emotional cravings, our emotional desires, these things are frequently changing. The way you likely feel now emotionally is not the same that you felt 5 years ago. This is indicated by the progressions of the moon. Your progressed moon, in essence, brings to you another aspect of your emotional personality that you might not have had before. So as an example, let's say you are a natal Scorpio moon. However, your progressed moon is currently in Leo. You will still embody that really, really intense energy that a Scorpio moon possesses. However, you will channel that intense energy into creativity, into creating an identity for yourself. But let's say your progressed moon progresses into the sign of Aquarius if you have a Scorpio moon. That means that at that point in your life, you'll be very, very passionate about forming connections in terms of friendships with people and meeting new people and connecting with people in the world around you. You'll be super, super passionate about this. So your natal moon basically indicates the core of your emotional needs and your emotional existence. And your progressed moon, in essence, indicates where this is channeled into at any particular time in your life. Like I said, our progressed moon is usually in a sign for about 2 to 3 years. This means for a 2 to 3 year period, we will be emotionally focused in a particular element within our life. One can say that in essence, every 28 years, we repeat the exact same emotional cycle. This means that every 28 years, our moon will return to its natal position again, and it will proceed to move through the zodiac again in our progress charts. So every 28 years, you can expect to undergo similar cycles in terms of your emotions and your emotional needs. Now, your ascendant, on the other hand, represents how your identity changes and evolves. Our natal rising sign indicates what people will usually see and what they will perceive when they meet you, when they interact with you. Our rising sign shows what others see when they deal with us. It shows what we show to the world. Our natal rising sign always remains the same, which means that the core energy of our essence that we show to other people always remains the same. However, our progressed ascendant shows almost like an additional layer to this essence that we show to other people. Our progressed ascendant is incredibly important as the year that our ascendant progresses into a different sign will be one of the most important years in our life. The year your ascendant changes signs, you can expect to experience some of the most crazy experiences that you will possibly ever experience in your life. This is also a time where you go through a lot of internal challenges because this is a time when your inner state is changing rapidly. The way that you think, the way that you act, the way that you just do things in general, the way that you present yourself, and just the person that you are will go through major, major changes. A lot of people will go through a lot of difficulties the year that they progress into a different ascendant sign, because this is literally a time when they have to learn to embody a completely different energy within their personality that they might have not embodied before. Your progressed Mercury indicates how you communicate with other people and how your communication style changes over time. The way that you communicate with people when you were, say, 14, 15, or 16 years old is entirely different to the way you'll likely communicate with people when you're in your mid-40s. Observing your Mercury progressions can show you how this communication style changes. Mercury usually moves 1 degree a day, so this means it will move 1 degree each year in our progress charts. So Mercury also changes signs just as frequently as what the Sun does, which means that our actual communication style also changes quite frequently. The thing is that Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year, and if a Mercury retrograde is close to your birth time, the retrogrades of Mercury in your progress chart can really complicate things for you. If Mercury does not go retrograde close to your birth time, you're a little bit more lucky. As soon as Mercury changes signs or it changes houses, that is when you will likely notice an immediate shift in how you communicate with other people. Maybe you are a little bit more expressive. Maybe you're less introverted and more extroverted. Maybe you prefer to talk about certain topics as opposed to other topics. All this is usually shown through your progressed Mercury. The progressed Venus represents what we value, what we really love, what we admire in life, and also how we like to interact with others in our romantic relationships. Venus also moves around 1 degree each day, so this means that in a progress chart, Venus will move around 1 degree per year. Venus can also change signs 2 to 3 times within your lifetime in your progressed chart, and this points to what you look out for in a romantic partner, what you look out for in relationships, and what it is that you truly value in life. Your progressed Mars shows the changes in how you act in your life, where you feel that you have a lot of power, and how brave you actually are. Mars is a little bit tricky in progressed charts because Mars doesn't really change that much. Mars usually only changes signs in progressed charts every 60 years. Mars moves about half a degree each day, so that means it will move about half a degree each year in your progressed charts. If you have Mars near the end of a sign, you're quite lucky because this means that your Mars will likely change signs within some time in your life, and your action style will likely change at some point in your life. However, if your Mars is in the beginning of a sign, this means that you're kind of stuck with that particular style of taking action within your life for quite a while. Most people only experience about 2 changes in their Mars signs in relation to their progressed charts in their lifetime. However, some people can experience 3. So this is my video on progressions. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. Check out the link below if you'd like to become one of my Patreons. On my Patreon, I offer direct communication where I answer various astrology questions for you throughout the month. Personal horoscope videos and articles that are only available for my Patreons to see, merchandise, and much more. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you would like to see some more astrology and spirituality videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.